Hello, my name is Myriam Sohn. I'm from BASF, and today I would like to speak about the challenges in sun care, a complex but exciting topic. The challenges are threefold. The first challenge is related to the regulatory situation. The basic requirement for all cosmetic products is to be safe for humans. The first hurdle is the registration of new filters due to the animal ban for the safety assessment, and there is no validated in vitro tests for replacing all in vivo tests. Secondly, some widely used registered UV filters are heavily discussed due to rising concerns on their safety for humans and the environment. The second challenge concerns the acceptance of some UV filters at the end consumer. This is the case for nanoparticulate UV filters, which are downgraded in the press and by digital consumer apps questioning their safety, which provokes worries at the end consumer. Then a second major aspect is the impact of UV filters on the environment. The first challenge is performance related. Sunscreen must give the basic performance of SPF and UVA protection. Also, water resistance becomes a performance standard. And now even more with protection going beyond the UV range. Sunscreen should also be available in many formats and sensory to reach each end consumer. What is the registration status in Europe? Currently, 29 UV filters are approved. From those 29 UV filters, 12 are not frequently used in gray in the table. This can have different reasons, some as being newly launched or to the opposite, being old chemistry and so on. 10 enter the substance evaluation process of the European Chemical Agency and are listed on the CORAP list, the one in red in the table. And only 5 in green are frequently used in sunscreen and are not under re-evaluation. The two main UVB filters, ethylhexyl methoxycinnamate and octocrylene, are currently under the spotlight and downgraded in consumer magazines or consumer apps because they are suspected to be potential endocrine disruptors and to have a negative impact on the environment. They are both on the CORAP list and were subjected to few authorities' ban. So there is a growing trend to remove them in the new sunscreen developments. In 2020, 40% of the new launched sunscreen in Europe were without EHMC and octocrylene, in comparison to 15% in 2015. So this is a growth of 160%. The big challenge for near future is therefore to develop sunscreen as efficient as today, but without the two major UVB filters, octocrylene and EHMC, and using only filters approved, since the prospect for a new UVB filter is rather unrealistic. But what are the main alternatives to EHMC and octocrylene? First, the efficient triazine derivatives are very promising due to their high absorbing efficacy. They are UVB and broad spectrum, oil or water dispersed. Then salicylate-based UV filters are excellent solubilizers but show rather low absorbing efficacy. The benzotriazole brings protection in the long UVA and boosts the overall efficacy of the soluble UV filters. The inorganic one can help as secondary filters. They might bring some white cast on skin, but boost the soluble UV filters. And finally, water-soluble filters exist as UVB and UVA, boost the performance thanks to their presence in the water phase, but might have some negative impact on water resistance. The couple Uvinul T150 and tinosobest is a very efficient alternative to EHMC and octocrylene. It will bring a strong UVB protection foundation. It needs, of course, the addition of a UVA filter, which might be butylmethoxybenzol methane, BMDBM, or Uvinul A+. Two examples of combinations are shown here, either with BMDBM or with Uvinul A+. Both combinations achieve SPF of 30 and the UVA PF that is higher than 1/3 of the SPF value fulfilling the European requirements for UVA protection. The difference between both systems become visible in their photostability properties, as seen in the figures. The protection of the system with BMDBM, in the figure on the left, decreases after UV exposure. The dot line lies below the full line. Whereas the system with uvinul A+, in the figure on the right, remains totally photostable. The two curves before and after irradiation overlap. A consequence of the photoinstability can be seen in the number of free radicals that are generated in the applied sunscreen film after UV irradiation. Almost 29% for the filter system with BMDBM compared to 3% for the system with uvinul A+. This performance difference is unfortunately not highlighted in the basics SPF and UVAPF values that were similar for both systems. But by using a photostable combination based on uvinul A+, the generation of the free radicals and following undesirable effects can be avoided. Here we did a deeper evaluation of the photostability and measured the recovery of the oil-soluble triazine tinosorbate, uvinul T150 and DBT, in combination with BMDBM in the figure on the left or with uvinul A+ in the figure on the right. The full lines correspond to the recovery of the triazine filter alone, and the dotted line to the mixture with the respective UVA filter. The study revealed that oil-soluble triazines, tinosorbate, uvinul T150 and DBT are highly photodestabilized with BMDBM, as seen in the figure on the left, whereas they could be even photostabilized with uvinul A+, achieving a recovery of 100% for all three, in the figure on the right. A combination of triazine with uvinul A+ results in a very photostable and safe system and offer a very efficient and sustainable alternative to EHMC and octocrylene. I would like now to highlight the benefits in using the organic particulate filter Tinosorb A2B. First, Tinosorb A2B shows a unique absorbance. It is a UVB filter, but with a shoulder in the UVA2 range, which highly benefits to the UVA protection of the product. Thanks to its particulate form, Tinosorb A2B reflects and scatters light, which has two positive effects. It provides a certain efficacy in the long UVA and visible waveband, providing blue light protection. Then it increases also the light path length and therefore enhances the efficacy of soluble filters. It is present in the water phase and is therefore complementary to the lipophilic filters. And since it is dispersed and not dissolved in water, it has no significant negative impact on water resistance. Finally, regarding the safety of Tinosorb A2B and nano filters in general, there are currently questions in view of their potential dermal penetration. The filters are downgraded by digital apps, and this reaches the sensibility of the end consumer without scientific health-related evidence. So this is very damaging for the filter itself, and finally also for the end consumer by taking him away the access to a very powerful technology. But the opinion of the Scientific Committee on Consumer Safety states that the use of 10% active Tinosorb A2B is safe for dermal application. So there is no ambiguity regarding the safety of using Tinosorb A2B in sunscreens. The specificity of Tinosorb A2B is it is organic and present in the water phase like PBSA, but is particulate like titanium dioxide. But what is the difference then between Tinosorb A2B and the two others in terms of efficacy? First, looking at the E11 curves, which express the extension of 1% active in 1 centimeter thickness, we can see that the shape of the absorbance curve of Tinosorb A2B in green is unique since it shows a shoulder in the UVA2 range extending up to 340 nanometer. Then the efficacy itself, the area under the curve, which is an indicator of the efficacy, since it provides the UV coverage effectiveness, is the highest for Tinosorb A2B, with a value of 580 compared to half for PBSA in orange. This means that with 1%, Tinosorb A2B covers twice more surface under the absorbance curve than PBSA. So you need less for the same performance. Also, the E11 value at the lambda max is the highest for Tinosorb A2B with a value of 1110. Finally, thanks to its scattering properties, Tinosorb A2B provides blue light protection, as seen in the table on the right. A blue light transmittance reduction of 35% is measured for the filter system with Tinosorb A2B, which is not possible for the filter system based on PBSA. So compared to its counterpart PBSA and titanium dioxide, Tinosorb A2B provides higher and broader UV coverage, and the scattering and the shoulder in the UVA2 increase the UVA and the blue light protection of the sunscreen. As mentioned earlier, photostability is essential, so we measured the recovery of Tinosorb A2B in different systems in the figure on the left and the one of PBSA in the figure on the right. So you can see that Tinosorb A2B is sensibly more photostable than PBSA, comparing the two gray lines in the two figures. But what we can see also is that the photostability of Tinosorb A2B and PBSA differ when they are combined with BMDBM, the lines in orange. Tinosorb A2B remains photostable in combination with BMDBM on the left, whereas PBSA is photodegraded when combined with BMDBM in orange in the figure on the right. But by contrast to BMDBM, PBSA is photostabilized in combination with uvenyl A+, the line in green, with a recovery reaching 97% after 50 mAd. The benefits of using uvenyl A+ in respect of photostability is also seen in the number of free radicals that are generated after UV irradiation, which is reduced from 75% for PBSA alone down to 45% when combined with uvenyl A+. So PBSA is not fully photostable as single, but its photostability is even reduced when combined with BMDBM, whereas the photostability of Tinosorb A2B is not impacted by its combination with BMDBM. A short summary about our learnings. So photo instability of the filter system leads to the generation of free radicals with the risk of decomposition of sensitive ingredients in the formulation and chain reactions, which can lead to adverse skin effect. The generation of free radicals is not highlighted in the SPF and UVAPF values, but using photostable UV protection based on uvenyl A+ reduces the risk of generating free radicals and risk of adverse skin reactions. The development of eco-friendly sunscreen is the second big challenge for coming years. Based on this sense of eco-responsibility, BASF developed a methodology called EcoSunPass to evaluate the impact of sunscreen on the environment. This approach does not select just the one or the other criterion, but considers all environmental compartments. It aims to be comprehensive, transparent, and is the most complete tool so far. The parameters include the biodegradation, acute and chronic aquatic toxicity, log POV, bioaccumulation, terrestrial and sediment toxicity. The eco impact is translated as a value called EcoSunPass, which involves the environmental hazard of the UV filters, their concentration, but also the sunscreen performance in respect to SPF and UVA PF. So the higher the value, the better the compatibility with the environment. The table gives filter combinations for SPF ranging from 20 to 50 plus, fulfilling the criterion of EcoSunPass of at least 200. The filter system is based on 4 filters, which are efficient, photostable, and allow to develop sunscreen, which are optimized in respect to the ecosystem. I would like to finish the presentation with a short summary about the main aspects we have seen. Triazine derivatives are efficient alternative to EHMC and octocrylene. In combination with UV-null A+, photostable filter systems can be developed with no generation of free radical. Development of sunscreen with EcoSunPass is possible for optimized eco-compatibility. So as you can see, all is available in the triazine filters UV-null T150, tinosorb-based and tinosorb A2B to develop performance, safe and sustainable sunscreen. So as you may know, BASF introduced some weeks ago the newest evolution of our BASF Sunscreen Simulator Digital Lab with improved user interface. So I highly encourage you discovering this virtual sun care lab if you don't know it yet. I would like to finish the presentation thanking all BASF colleagues who contributed to this work. And thank you, all the participants, for your interest in this amazing sun care topic. I wish you a great day and take care. Bye-bye.